program. Coach April Cassell, back here, has been our women's coach and has led our girls team throughout. Coach Nick Morgan, Coach Josh Farrell, and now Shane Hall are our coaches. Unfortunately, because of other races, Chad and Nick couldn't be with us today. We've asked Coach Joe McDaniel, who could be, and one of our founders of our program, if he could come and share some of the accolades the team has had and earned over the years.
My dad told me years ago that he said, "Son, I've never heard a bad short sermon." The operative term was short. And this is not a sermon. On behalf of the McDaniel family, I want to thank Coach Greg Moore and Mr. Greg Thompson for taking a risk and hiring our son, Chad, to start the program in 1999. I'm going to give you kind of go back, and Coach Cassell will catch up. FPD gave Chad an opportunity as a first-year coach, and this was a great marriage for 8 years that he coached and served here. In addition, as you said, I had the opportunity to be his assistant. He made me call him sir during those days. I remember the early days when FPD's first cross-country teams didn't have a lot of runners. The fact is that many or most of the runners in those days were simply staying in shape for other sports. Nick Morgan was the first and only boy to break 20 minutes that first year, one of them. And that sounded like a blazing time back in those days. Nick and Kristen Peake were the first two FPD runners to make All-State. The early years, the state meets were held at Athens Christian, Thomasville, and Forsyth before settling at the industrial home here in Macon. My favorite memories were watching our girls gain confidence in themselves and really compete with Augusta Christian, who was the dominant team back in those days. They had the Metabaugh twins and won the state every year. They ended up running at Georgia. On the boys' side, it was incredible to watch 5 or 6 Viking jerseys topping the hill at the children's home and watching 7 of our guys come out of the woods at Stratford before any other team's first runner came out of the woods. That was pretty fun. It wasn't if we would win. It was, can we have a perfect score of 15, which we did, even in the state meet in 2004. And our 5th guy, John Tankard, rose to the occasion every time for the perfect score. In 2003 and 4, we had 8 boys make all-region, which was just sick, unheard of. In 1999, the first year, the varsity had only 7 girls running. The first boys team had 17. Chad Bacon was the JV team himself, one guy. The second year, Greer Hawkins, Anna Phillips, and Ashley Mize came out for cross country, and the number of male runners increased at an alarming rate. And that's the truth. The second year, there were 28 girls and 35 boys. Third year, 01, the boys finished second in the state meet held in Forsyth, and FPD cross country has never looked back. Third year was also the first year of a true JV program, and that was pretty fun as we had won 8 state titles in 6 years on both the boys and girls side. I want to thank Alan Peake and Kerry Odell for being great coaches in those days. Kerry was the only coach we had over here in those days that could challenge Grace Tinkey. From 2002 to 06, and I'm almost through, and then we'll take up the offering. From 2002 to 2006, 5 straight years, FPD boys won the GISA title. And under Coach Nick Morgan, the boys won again in 08. 05 was the year both our boys and girls won the state titles, which is a rare feat. And as many of you know, the FPD girls, coached by April Willingham, now Cassell, won the second girls title in 09. Chad Bacon and Kelly Sanders were the first cross-country runners to sign scholarships with Mercer and Valdosta State, respectively. The following year, Joby Peake and Scott Cope signed with Auburn and Samford, and both had great college careers. In the 14 years of cross-country at FPD, the boys have won 11 region or area championships and 6 state titles, while the girls have won 7 region or area titles and 2 state crowns. Both the boys and girls teams continue to be the best in the Middle Georgia area, and both do extremely well statewide in GHSA. It's been a pleasure for Chad and for me to be part of this great history of success, which was FPD cross country. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Coach Cassell.
I'm Coach April Cassell, and I do the varsity girls this year along with Shane Hall, who you've already been introduced to, who's been a great first-year coach in cross-country this year for our guys team. The cross-country legacy at FPD began when Chad McDaniel and his father, Joe McDaniel, started the program here. These guys inspired kids to run at all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. Through these two men and many parents like Alan and Betsy Peake, Betty and Bill Ham, and Carrie O'Dell, our program has continued to prosper. We have had many runners go on to compete at the collegiate level, like Coach Joe said. Callie Sanders, Chad Bacon, Joby Peake, Scott Cope, Andrew Scott, Robert Bradham, Kenneth Reeder, Ashley Cope, Victoria Coppage, Grace Tinke, and Danielle Farrow, which says a lot for our program. We have 40 kids participating today in the middle school state championship meet in Cochran, which is the biggest our middle school program has ever been. And then next week we will have 35 elementary kids competing in a 1-mile race out here on our campus on our trail. Coach Holly Scott, along with Gray Lindley, Chelsea Wegson, and parents like Aaron Johnson are integral in helping with this program as well, because that's where we feel like it starts. There are a lot of schools that don't do elementary programs, and thanks to Coach Joe and Carrie O'Dell and these guys getting it started, our program has grown every year, and we feel like that's why we are successful on the varsity level. You've heard the phrase, good things come to those who wait, and we have been waiting a long time to have a trail on our campus. This trail will not only make an impact on our teams, but on our school families and community as well, because hopefully it will encourage people to come out and exercise together. Thank you to all the Peakes who were involved in this event, Mr. Thompson, Greg Moore, and any of you who had a part in this. It's been a great race today. It's fun to see all of you get out and enjoy it, and hopefully you can come back anytime. It's open every day, so if you want to come out and use the course, feel free to do so. But thank you for all you do to support FPD Cross Country. It's a fun program to be involved in. We have a lot of great kids that are in our program, boys and girls. But thank you.
Coach Moore's daughter was running in that middle school race in Cochran, so he was not able to be with us and sends his regrets, and also a letter he asked me to read for him. It says, Dear Viking Nation, what a great day for our school. I want to express sincere gratitude to the Peake family for their generosity all the way back to the beginning days of First Presbyterian Day School. Your family has played an integral part in the successes that have led us to today. What you have demonstrated for the entire school family for generations is a true model of servant leadership. There's no way to accurately measure how many different families your kindness has positively impacted, and that impact continues today. Our efforts to offer a program of excellence are supported in great ways by people like you. I trust today's dedication and inaugural run on the new cross-country trail will honor your family and give you at least a small glimpse of how much you all mean to FPD. I would be remiss if I didn't also take a quick moment to congratulate and thank our cross-country coaches and runners. Our first coach, Chad McDaniel, is a dear friend and is a highly respected coach and teacher for young men and women and still today. Chad's passion for running and his attention to teaching the life lessons taken from racing and competing began a remarkable string of accomplishments in our cross-country program that carries on today. To Chad, his father Joe, and to all those who followed them, we say thank you and bless you for your leadership. The model for how to succeed is carried on today by Coach Cassell and Shane Hall, and we share in their excitement as this new trail is dedicated. Finally, to our cross-country runners, enjoy the blessings of God's grace and kindness through his people. This trail will be our new home, a home of champions, and we encourage you to keep pressing ahead and pushing yourself to new personal and team records. All of our athletic department shares in the pride you must feel in having your own cross-country home. Thanks to all of you for being here today, and may God bless you and your families. Sincerely, Coach Greg Moore. Asked Alan if he would like to share some remarks.
Thanks, Greg. It's a special day for all of us. It's a real honor to be here representing the Peake family. I want to recognize a few members of our families that are here. My wife, Betsy Peake, my daughter, Corey Peake, My daughter-in-law, Jean Hawkins Peake, was coming. I'm not sure she's here. My sister, Kathy Peake, and her children, Stephen and Julia, and my brother, George Peake, from the original class of 1975 at FPD. Also, my cousin, that means you're old. Also, my cousin, David Tinkey, is here, whose dad, my uncle, Jim Tinkey, was a vital part of the family business that donated the land to the school back in the late 60s. When I was approached by the FPD leadership about doing something to recognize my parents, it was only natural to wrap the honor around outdoors and exercise. I can remember many an early morning when my dad would wake me up at the crack of dawn to go walk with him in the woods. Now, at the time, I can assure you I wasn't very thrilled about getting up so early. But today, those memories are some of the most precious ones I have of our time together. My dad, George Peake, who lived a somewhat complex and some would say eccentric life, was at his core a simple farmer from Eufaula, Alabama, who was a very, very generous man. He would take particular pride in walking this cross-country trail, and I can promise you, he would be out here early in the morning walking if he were alive to experience it. And my mom, Ann Peake, who's here with us this morning, had a passion for Christian education for her children. She raised 6 of us Peakes, with 4 attending and graduating from FPD. So she lived at this school, as many of you parents know, for many years. She served on the original school board during FPD's inception and was on the search committee that actually hired Henry Middlebrooks as the very first headmaster. The ironic twist in that is that Henry Middlebrooks would eventually become my father-in-law when I married his daughter, Betsy. My mom, Ann Peake, is the most loving, courageous woman I have ever met. And her steadfast devotion to her children has created a legacy that will last for generations. Our family is incredibly touched today by the honor bestowed on my mom and dad in the naming of the cross-country trail for them. We are grateful to the FPD board for this recognition and hope and pray that all of the FPD family will enjoy the benefits of this trail for many generations to come. Thank you very, very much.
Alan, if you and your family want to come up next to the sign, we'll do the unveiling. Cross-country runners in the program, if you want to just come around the side so you can join them and show your appreciation to the family for making this a reality.
Get out of my way and I'll kill you.
Well, let's go ahead and take the sign down and let everybody see.
I'll give you, Alan.
George Peake and Ann Peake Cross Country Trail.
Get the thing off the back.
Young kids, let's hope we add to that state championship. Thank y'all very much. We appreciate y'all being here.